Hey folks, welcome back to Straight Talk Whiskey. I'm Nick here with you as always. Thanks for joining us for episode number 89. So today, as promised, we are back into High West's range of spirits, and we have something unique today, something that we haven't reviewed before, and that's a light whiskey. So here we have the High West Silver Whiskey, Western Oat. Now it is legally classified as a light whiskey. So what does that mean? Well, that basically means that when we look at a whiskey as legally defined in the United States, we're talking about a whiskey that is aged at no more, or not aged, sorry, distilled at no more than 160 proof. So, with a light whiskey, by legal definition, we're talking about a whiskey that can be distilled over 160 proof. And with this, we have 87.5% ABV, so we're talking 175 proof, if I can do a little quick math there. I didn't do that already. So we have an official light whiskey from High West. As you can tell, it doesn't have any discernible color to it, yet I do believe it has been aged very minimally in some charred oak, in French Limousin oak. So there you go, we have that going for us there, in toasted oak. So really grain forward in this whiskey, really giving you a sense of what this whiskey is like in terms that is Western oat. So the thing I love about High West is just, and especially this expression, is the transparency that you get with this bottle. Now it's a little bit hard to find, but if you can find it, it's well worth it. So the back here, if you can see it, has some technical information on it, which is fantastic, because we have the distillation proof, which I already gave you, the 87.5% ABV. We have the batch size, 250 gallons, so that when High West says, you know, it's distilled in small batches, you actually understand what that means. So the mash bill is 85% Oats by A.C. Morgan and Derby and Calibre. So it's nice that it tells you where the grain is actually coming from. And 15% barley malt. So really interesting in that sense. Some more information if you're interested. They have the mash type in there, so it's a sour mash. So some of that spent wash in the fermenters is put back in for the next batch. So the pH adjusted with back set to 4.8. Filtration, it's not chill filtered, and it's not carbon treated. So again, I wish every single expression of whiskey had that on there for the money that we're paying for it. And then the barrel type, as I said, is French Limousin oak, and dilution water is TDS 259 ppm, or parts per million. And then it goes in with some distiller's notes and that sort of thing. On the front you have the assay number, the bottle number, and the proof, which is 40% alcohol by volume, or 80 proof. So would have liked a little bit higher, as always. Like 43 seems like a good number when we're talking about proof. 40, obviously the minimum there, but you know, they probably either there isn't a large enough market for this to be bottled at a higher percentage, or the market is so huge for High West expressions that people, even though if they're not familiar with what this type of whiskey is, or light whiskey is, you know, would be interested in trying it and seeing what it's all about. So it's interesting that we get an 85% oat mash bill, because you don't see that a lot in whiskeys. In fact, I can't name off the top of my head any other whiskey that I've had that is that high of percentage in oats. So anyway, on the nose, a really unique nose to it. So you're getting a strong sense of really, really overtly sweet milk chocolate, vanilla sweetness on the nose, mixed in with some coconut. I'm getting some key lime pie in there. Some definitely very ripe fruits, slightly astringent, something sort of sweet and medicinal at the same time, which is interesting. And a lot of this creaminess, if you think of like a Cadbury egg, the cream filling inside of that, that's what I'm hearkening back to on the nose. Just a really interesting nose. Again, if you can get this expression, obviously, you know, grab it at first sight, because it's really unique in the sense of it being so different from things that we're traditionally used to nosing. So let's go in for the taste. The taste is absolutely fantastic. So the first thing that comes off is just this creamy vanilla note to that. Added to that, sort of on the edges of the tongue, you're picking up a little bit of that coconut. And the coconut's definitely playing a large part in the mouthfeel of this whiskey. It's not crisp and clean. It's got this texture to it that you get on the mouthfeel that's very similar to a coconut mixed in with a milk chocolate, something like that. I'm also getting strong blueberry pie notes, some graham cracker in there. And what's interesting about this whiskey is that the finish, for only being 80 proof, is extremely long. It's got a great fruitiness that doesn't leave quickly, harkening back to those blueberries in there. There's also a really strong sense of lime sweetness, a very tart, almost sour note to that, which is really a great contrast to the smoother vanilla and graham crackery notes. There's a slight hint of pear, and that, again, just this really, and you wouldn't expect it just from looking at this clear spirit. You might expect something that's almost like a sour grape, really medicinal, sour, fleeting in finish, but that's not what you get here at all. What you get is a really, as I said, the overtly sweet notes, the blueberry pie, this graham crackery coconut smoothness that really makes a nice able-bodied mouthfeel to it. And it's really just an excellent whiskey. To be honest though, I've never come across a High West expression that has left me disappointed. I always seek out any of their expressions, and unfortunately I can't get some of the limited releases that I would like to get. But anyway, that's what we've got for episode number 89. If you've tried this before, let me know, because I know a lot of people I've talked to haven't come across this yet. So if you have, just give me a shout, let me know what you think. And until next time, if you're going to drink responsibly as always, and we'll see you next time.